So, have you ever heard of a superstar footballer who cleans toilets at his local mosque right after scoring a game winner? Well, the guy's name is Sadio Mané, and Mané is about 26 when this story kicks off, playing for Liverpool in England. And this dude, he's not just a top-tier player. Lionel Messi himself voted him as the best in the world that year. But back in 2018, just hours after he nails a goal to seal a 2-1 victory, a video surfaces online showing him scrubbing the bathrooms at his mosque. And social media explodes. People are either hyping up his humility or scratching their heads. Like, how does a guy on track for global stardom do something so ordinary? But Mané, he brushes it off, saying he begged them not to post the video. To him, it's no big deal. It's just how he was raised. Growing up in this tiny village called Bambali in Senegal, his dad was the imam, the spiritual leader of their mosque. But this isn't really about his father, because as Mané puts it, he was only 7, heading out to kick a ball around on a dirt field when his cousin pulls him aside and says, "Sadio, your dad's gone." And Mané's like, "You're kidding, right?" He couldn't wrap his head around it. His dad had been sick, sure, but they'd always used traditional remedies, and he'd pull through. Not this time. There was no hospital in Bambali, no real medical help. So right then, that little kid decides he's gonna flip everything. Not just for himself or his family, but for the whole village. And the only path he sees? Football. But if scraping together games on that dusty patch was tough enough, things get way harder after his dad's death. His uncle steps in, takes over the mosque, and becomes his guardian. And this uncle, he sees football as a total waste, a distraction from real responsibilities. As the years go on, he piles more mosque duties on Mané, until finally, he flat out bans him from playing.
So at 15, Mané vanishes. As one of his old friends tells it, he sneaks out of Bambali without a word to anyone, hikes a massive distance, hops a bus to Dakar. You see, Dakar was like football heaven in Senegal. Academies there even linked up with European teams, while back home, you'd be lucky to find a flat spot of grass within 100 miles. Mané travels for days, figuring he'd just play in the streets until someone spots his talent. Eventually, his friend cracks, spills to the family, and after 2 months, they drag him back home. But 7 months later, he's at it again, this time with a plan. He lines up for trials with 300 other kids, and when he steps up, everyone bursts out laughing. He doesn't look the part. Pants instead of shorts, boots falling apart, wired together. Even the scouts give him this odd stare, but they weren't mocking him. That look, it was because they'd just seen the greatest Senegalese player ever. After 3 years at Academy Génération Foot, his shot comes. Their partners at FC Metz fly out the top prospects to France, and while most head back, Mané sticks. He was so desperate to grab that chance, the club's physio says it took 2.5 months to realize he had a brutal groin injury needing surgery. He wouldn't complain. Still, in 4 months, he's in the first team. And though 4 more see Metz drop to the 3rd tier for the first time ever, his 12 starts make waves, landing him an Olympic call-up. Senegal wasn't expected to compete, but against a British side with Ryan Giggs and Daniel Sturridge, Mané sets up a draw. Against Uruguay, he helps knock out Suarez and Cavani. They bow out in the quarters. But over in Austria, Ralf Rangnick and Gerard Houllier decide they've got to snag this raw talent for RB Salzburg. It was such a whirlwind rise that when Metz gets a bid dwarfing the rest, Mané says the president told him, "Kid, it's 4 million. I can't say no." He cries like a child. Metz felt like home. He didn't want to bounce again. Now 3,000 miles from Bambali, crashing in a 1-bedroom condo with a worn-out leather couch and not much else, he tells the staff his goal is the Ballon d'Or. They warn him he's dreaming too big, so he dials it back. Fine, African Player of the Year first. On his 3rd game, he scores twice and assists to snag a 3-2 win over rival Sturm Graz. 4 games later, his first hat-trick. A month after, his second. By season's end, 29 goal contributions, one every 82 minutes. They missed the title, but nobody's doubting him anymore. In his 2nd year, he bags his 4th hat-trick to reach the Austrian Cup final, winning his first trophy. In the league, he crushes everyone, putting Salzburg 18 points clear, with 23 contributions in 14 games at one stretch. And while dropping 2 goals and an assist on Ajax in the Europa League could have been the breakthrough, the real game changer was a winter friendly against Bayern Munich. The arena sells out for the first time since the 2008 Euros, half filled with scouts. 13 minutes in, Mané slots one past Neuer, wins a penalty for the second, sets up a third for a 3-0 rout of the European champs. Rangnick calls it legendary. A teammate says he schooled Guardiola.
Over in Dortmund, Jurgen Klopp starts calling contacts to connect with the player. But when they meet, Klopp's thrown by his baseball cap, says he looks like a rapper. Pushback from the club, and Klopp passes. Still, Mané bolts from Salzburg, goes on strike, skips their biggest game in history, costing them a Champions League spot after 20 years, just to force a £12 million move to Southampton. In England, it's rocky. As The Athletic puts it, one game he's world class, the next you're like, what is going on? First season, 7 goals in 36 league games. Then, with 2 left, he smashes the fastest Premier League hat-trick, 3 in 2:56, topping Robbie Saller. But preseason friendly against Salzburg, fans boo him unforgivingly. It hits him hard. That was a wake-up. I told myself, no more mistakes. He starts the next season hot. 8 contributions in 7. Man of the match versus Chelsea, goal in 39 seconds versus Liverpool.
Then, a 16-game drought. Red card. During his suspension, with Klopp's Liverpool next in season winding down, he knows, be the hat-trick guy or prove Klopp wrong. He scores twice to erase a 2-0 deficit against them. Adds 6 more goals, including a hat-trick versus Guardiola City. 22 contributions total, hauling Southampton to 6th above Liverpool into Europe after 12 years. Klopp shells out £34 million, making him the priciest African ever. Fans scream flop, but Klopp later calls the 2-year delay his career's biggest mistake. On debut, Mané scores a stunner to beat Arsenal, and it doesn't stop. Goals pile up as Liverpool gels under Klopp. Even missing the last 8 games injured, he's Player of the Year. They wouldn't have snagged Champions League without him. Next season, Salah, Van Dijk, Robertson arrive. Mané shifts left, no complaints. By August, League Player of the Month. November, qualifies Senegal for their first World Cup since El Hadji Diouf, his idol. Scores against every Champions League foe till the end. 2 vs Spartak, hat-trick vs Porto, 1 vs City, 2 vs Roma to the final. His 10th goal there isn't enough, and Summer's World Cup sees Senegal out on yellow cards. But more vital, after 2 millionaire seasons, he returns to Bombali, drops over €1 million on a school, family home, internet infrastructure, monthly stipends for every family at minimum wage level, and a hospital, so no kid loses a parent like he did. Those losses sting though. Twice beaten to African Player of the Year by Salah. His Senegal coach says it's because Salah is selfish, Mané's selfless. That year, even with Salah on penalties, Mané bags 4 in the last 2 to tie Salah and Aubameyang for Golden Boot. Scores a beauty versus Bayern, another versus Porto. Wins a penalty 24 seconds into the UCL final. Lets Salah take it for the win, Liverpool's first in 14 years. Loses AFCON final to Mahrez's Algeria, but gets Player of the Tournament. Preseason friendly versus Salzburg? Fans applaud now, resentment gone. End of year, man of the match in Super Cup, assist for Club World Cup winner. Leads Liverpool's epic unbeaten run, 4th in Ballon d'Or. Messi votes him first. Wins African Player of the Year, same month he's seen lugging water bottles for Senegal staff while others ignore them. In an interview, why 10 Ferraris, 20 diamond watches, 2 planes? I've been hungry, worked fields, played barefoot. I'd rather share with my people, and life keeps giving. After his first Premier League title, he returns off form, long COVID rumors. But with the award suspended 2 years by pandemic, chance to tie Salah's 2. Liverpool chased quadruple, both head to AFCON. They clash in final. 120 minutes, penalties. Mané nails the decider, Senegal's first title. Streets flood in celebration. A month later, World Cup playoffs versus Egypt again. Salah misses first penalty. Mané buries the winner. No doubt who's clutch. Rest of year, scores in UCL quarters and semis, loses final to Real, misses treble by a point, moves to Bayern, 15 contributions in 22. Then injured 102 days, misses World Cup, Senegal escapes groups without. Still, 2nd African Player of the Year, tying Salah. 2nd in Ballon d'Or. Proving that kid from Bombali wasn't crazy dreaming of being the world's best.